All right, you guys, welcome to our VIP call. I'm so excited. I have a special guest, Amber. We just connected through the power hours that Yardley and Hong do, and I just reached out to her because I actually don't know her story. And so I love to hear new stories. This group that we're doing this Zoom with tonight is actually a special VIP group. They have to have certain requirements to get into this each month, and a lot of them have been in like going on 6 months in a row now, so this is pretty cool. But I would love for you just to tell everybody a little bit about you, your story, and then we'll get into the questions.
Perfect. And then Christina, I'm going to message you tonight. I want to know how they get in this VIP Zoom. So
yes,
don't let me forget, but I don't want to ask it right now because I don't want to take time.
Yes,
everyone's like, I know how I got in. Hi, everyone. My name is Amber Erickson. I am in Phoenix, Arizona, right outside of Phoenix, Arizona, and I have been with It Works for 6.5 years. I was a kindergarten and first grade teacher when this business found me. Our family, 6.5 years ago, my husband had a great corporate America job. I was teaching. We did all the right things. You know, we were making good, normal family income. You know, most of our money went to bills, a little bit went into savings, and if we wanted anything like a vacation, or if we needed new tires on our car, or if the air conditioner broke, it was going on credit card and we were going to deal with it later. And so this business completely found me. A parent in my first grade class, I had looped up with that group, and so they were in kindergarten and first grade with me. But we were on a field trip, and these moms were talking about a wrap party. And it was right around Christmas time. It was after Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, you are wrapping your gifts already? Like, you were like on top of it. And she's like, you haven't heard of that crazy wrap thing? I'm like, good Lord, what did I literally like hook, line, freaking sinker? Like, she got me, you know? And so she's like, oh, you would love it. Like, you have to try it. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, Like, hell no, you're not seeing my belly. Like, no. I don't know if I can say hell on your team, but I just said it twice, so I'm so sorry. So long story short, she gave me a wrap as a like early Christmas gift, and she was super smart about it because she didn't just give it to me. So at the end of the school year, maybe you can use this idea. She didn't just give it to me. She gave me kind of like a gift certificate, and she said, you know, you have to come over, or let's meet up, and I will wrap you. And that made me super uncomfortable. However, I saw her twice a day at drop off and at pickup. So I was like running out of excuses. I'm like, oh God, like I just have to literally just pull off the Band-Aid and let her wrap me. Like I just have, and then I'll figure that out later. And so that was 6.5 years ago. I saw great results. Spoiler alert, you know, it literally works. And I went to her house. She talked to me about the customer thing. She talked to me about the distributor thing. Christina, how long have you been in the business?
8 years. It was 8 years in March.
Okay, perfect. So back in the day, like you remember, like it was basically like a magazine. Remember, like it was so long, and then he flipped it over and he talked about the opportunity. It was crazy. And so I called her, you know, we measured, I lost inches, you know, in 45 minutes. And I called her and I'm like, okay, like I'll become a customer. Like, what does that mean? It was very confusing. It was a lot of detail. And she's like, or you could sell this with me. And I'm like, no, like homegirl, like watch it. Like I'm a professional. I went to college. Like I don't do like at-home parties. Like I don't even know. No, I don't do that. However, if she wouldn't have mentioned that to me, literally, I wouldn't have been here because I would just have been a customer. Literally, I would probably be like her most loyal customer, you know. But her mentioning that to me just completely changed everything. And so I gave it some thought. Of course, right away I was like, no. That's not my thing. I don't sell things. I get nervous. Like that's not me. However, that little seed was planted on my heart, and I literally could not shake it that entire weekend. And so maybe kind of how you guys, you know, joined the business, like someone mentioned it to you and you just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I knew if I couldn't stop thinking about it, I had to act on it. And so I joined and I was like, okay, so now what? Like, now what? Like, what do I do? I wanted to make $200 to $500 a month, just like basically everyone. I wanted to go, stroll through Target and put anything I wanted in my bag. I wanted to get my nails done when I wanted to, not when it fit like the payday schedule and, that middle of the month kind of sweet spot. You had a little bit of extra money. Like my goals were very self-centered. And so because they were self-centered, I think I worked harder to make sure they happened. Like I wanted my nails painted, And so we didn't really have a lot of training back then, like you remember. And so I always say, like, I am self-taught via YouTube, and a glass of wine in my hand. I would put my my husband and my oldest, he was my only at the time, to bed. And I just Googled It Works training, and I just watched it, and they kept talking about the steps to success, steps to success, steps to success. I'm like, okay, I don't know the industry. I've never done anything like this before, but if they are telling me that I need 4 customers and 3 distributors every month, I can run a debt-free business. Because again, I joined 2 weeks before Christmas. And so A, I was scared to enroll for $99. B, I was super scared about the auto ship. I was like, ooh, now what's going to happen? But I knew back then you would sell your wraps, $25 each. You would have a debt-free business and you would make profit, So I was like, you know what? All of these strangers via YouTube are talking about the steps to success. That sounds easy enough. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think that my fast success in the beginning was so fast is because I told my mind that if that's what they're going to do, if that's what we do in this business, if that's what they do, that's what we do, this is what we do as a company. If that's what I have to do too. And it wasn't, even though the steps to success isn't mandatory, like you're not going to get in trouble or anything. Like, it's just like, hey, take it at your own speed. I always told my brain, because these YouTube videos literally told me, they're like, this is what we do. And so that is what I did. And, as my team was growing, I was just teaching them that. And we were literally all doing the same process all together. I was making that $300 to $500 range just in fast start bonuses, which I'm like, holy heck, like $500 just in Friday bonuses. Like, yes, sign me up. I was so excited about those. Hi, sweet girl. I was so excited. And so then when I was talking to people, I'm like, I just made $200 on a Friday. Let's go out on a date. Like, I was getting a babysitter, and like that fun money just excited me so much. And so I was transferring that excitement to others, and they were doing the same thing. And so I went diamond in 3 months, double in 5 months, triple a little after a year, presidential, like 14, 15 months.
That's incredible. I was just going to ask you how fast you went. So you mentioned something, and I think this is really, really cool. Your story is so awesome. I love that you share that. I didn't know your story. So that is just like, I just am like thinking all my friends that are teachers, I'm like, oh my gosh, I rep you all. Like, one of them is my customer and my neighbor, and I've been trying to get her in the business for like over a year. And I'm like, I'm just going to get her. Like, I'm just going to sign her.
Let me tell you, like, literally blow up all your teachers right now, because teachers they're my favorite to work with. Not only because I was a teacher, but because we're used to following a plan. We're used to kind of be told what to do, like from like our district or our state. Like, we have state standards. And so it's like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And, however you want to do that, like you can, grow butterflies, you can plant plants, you can do whatever, but you have to reach these standards. The same thing with this business. You can do events, you can do social media, you can do at-home samples, whatever you need to do, whatever you like to do, and what brings you joy and excitement, do that. But that road has to lead to enrolling new customers and enrolling new distributors.
Absolutely. So one thing that a lot of people that have not been in as long as you and I probably don't remember is like, I grew my entire business off of doing parties. Like, that was my thing. Like, I was living off of food stamps and WIC, and I had to make the money. Yeah. And so I love that you brought up the steps to success, because I think so many people almost overcomplicate the system. And you just said it again, we get paid to sign distributors and we get paid to sign customers. So I want to know from you, like, what does a month look like? Average time in the business and average like signing. Oh, hi.
Hi. Okay, I'm on a meeting. Go ask Daddy. I'm on a meeting. Go ask Dad.
This is like my house. Their dad's like right there, and they're all like coming over to me.
Close the door, Bubba. Yeah, you have a dad.
It's fine, babe.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
So what does like an average month look like for you? Like, you obviously do this full time now, but what does it look like for like recruitments for you, and like how much time? Because I really think it's important for everybody to understand the time that you have to be consistent. But like, let me know kind of what your month is like.
Yeah, for sure. So every day I do basically like a 6 list. Our team calls it Core 4 and More. I can send you the link of kind of like what we do and like what, like our daily tasks are. It's basically like a power hour, but because of time zones and work schedules and little gremlin schedules and all of that, it's kind of hard to like all get on a power hour together. And so I basically just put a poll in my team page that they vote on it once they do it, once they completed it. So it's kind of like a checklist because, people want to feel accomplished, like, oh, I got that done. And people want to feel accomplished in front of their peers and in front of their teammates. And so once they vote on that, everyone can see like, hey, Debbie's on fire. She's getting all of her stuff done. Janessa, she's doing it, so that's really worked well for me. I can send you all of that. And so it's basically like what you would do in a power hour: follow people, interact, put up, 10 hosts to post, get 10 people, follow up. Did I ever say follow up? So it's nothing like, groundbreaking or anything. Yeah. However, it is consistent. And so, we always kind of say, I tell my team, like, this isn't the type of job that you have to, okay, here I am, I'm going to clock in. Like, it's like little bits here and there. Yes. And so I probably work my business like focused, I don't know, like an hour, 2 hours a day, like, and that sounds really bad because there's 24 hours in a day. So I'm like, ooh, that's probably
no, not, but I get what you're saying.
Not really good to say to her team. She's probably like, Amber,
no, that's me too.
Tell these girls to work.
But that's what I want is like, these are the people that like need to know, like, this is what you do, because I think that's so important. I tell my team that this is my team and then my ambassador, Crystal Pearl's team. So it's all of ours combined. But what I think is so awesome about that is you guys, you don't need a lot of time to do this business if you do it consistently, intentionally, and you're very focused. And I think that's the thing. I do 2 power hours a day, and that's what I do in my business. There are times I'm messaging back, and I'm still posting, and I'm still creating polls, and I'm still interacting, and like there's still things I'm doing. Yeah. But just like you said, like you're focused like 1 or 2 hours, but you sit down and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get this done, and I got to do it because this isn't like a normal, like you said, you don't clock in and you're like, okay, here I am, like 8 hours. Like you say, okay, I'm here, I'm present for 1 hour, I'm going to work. Here's my, whatever you guys call it. I love that. And I think it's important for people to see that. So I love that. Even
and I do get on, power hours. So then it is like, okay, I am focused, I'm working, but everything else is kind of on the go, like we are like wacko crazy moms, and I want to work out. I want to, enjoy my time. I want to meet girlfriends for lunch. And so, we've kind of earned that freedom. However, on the flip side, I don't want you to think like, oh, she does this full time. I still have a full-time job. I can't do this. You for sure can, because actually, this is going to blow your mind a little bit. I think you actually have an upper hand over myself and Christina because our time is just like so up in the air and like so like willy-nilly that, I remember that when I was teaching, and I taught all the way past Presidential Diamond with my full-time job. And so when you do have a full-time job or you do have a full-time whatever, you're almost more intentional. You're almost more focused and more productive because you only have this little bit of time to fit it in. And so, and sometimes in my business, I'm kind of jealous if like when the people actually do work. So I'm like, man, I used to be so like focused, and now it's just like, I get it done, but you know what I'm saying?
No, and that's I like 100% agree with that, because when you do have a full-time whatever where you have to clock in, and I remember working at a bank as a teller, like I went double diamond and I like hauled butt, but I only had like this much time to get it done. And it was so focused and intentional that you do, like, because you have another obligation when you get to the point of being in for so long and having like an established business, you sometimes forget, like, no, you still got to do it. You still have to sit down. You still have to do the hard things. And I know Hong talks about this a lot on her power hours, where she's like, I don't always want to message. I don't want to go and like interact. I don't want to have to get up early. But we do those things. And I think that's important that you said that. And I really like that you said that, because after 6.5 years, right, of being in the business and being a teacher and working up past your presidential diamond, like that just goes to show you, like, this takes work. It takes consistently doing the business every day. So what is one thing that you tell your team as far as like if maybe they're not getting interaction or they're not getting results? What's like a couple things that you tell them? Because I hear this all the time on my team. Like, I'm doing the things. I'm doing the host to post. I'm doing the power hours. I'm doing polls, like, and they're just not getting anything. So what do you say to people?
So I always say, like, posting is not asking, so there is I don't teach cold messaging on my team. So I don't know if you guys do. But if they're viewing your stories and they're not voting on it, but they're a constant viewer, I keep track of who is viewing, all of my stories. I'll kind of write it down. I have like this Instagram notebook. And the people who are viewing my stuff, that's who I'm going to be interacting with. And so if people aren't commenting and on your own stuff, you can just use that time to go, these people who are following you, now you go make friends with them. And like literally by the time you're friends with them and you're commenting on their stuff, they're going to think like you're actual BFFs, and they're going to come and ask you about, hey, I've been watching this coffee thing that you're doing every single day. Tell me more about that. Like, just because they're not like in your face, like voting on the poll, people are watching. And so, do that. I would still say be consistent. Sometimes we throw in the towel. We're like, well, I've been doing power hours. I've been doing blah, 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 X, Y, Z, and it's not working. Well, we plant a seed in the ground, like an actual real seed, and, a tree grows, right? And we're like, wow, that tree is really nice, but it's a lemon tree. Where are the damn lemons? The lemons are the very last thing to grow, and so it takes time. It takes consistent effort. And it also takes, like, you're building a business, you're building a legacy, you're building a, something that's going to, go on for generations and generations. Like, this is you guys as VIP. So I'm sure you guys are like, you're in it for the long haul. And, this is a marathon, not oops, hold on. I just touched something. Sorry. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And, 1 foot in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other is how you get to the finish line. It's how you get to Millionaires Club. It's how you get to, wherever you want to go. And, if, at conference, like when they talk to the millionaires, they're like, well, how'd you do it? Everyone wants to know, how did you do it? And it's all of these like compounded efforts every single day, that added up to big, big results. And so I would just say, keep at it. You're probably not, if they're not seeing the results, you're probably not growing your network every day. You're probably not interacting. Yes. And then you also need to ask. And, host to post is amazing. We're going to get really great results. However, it's kind of like finding a needle in a haystack. Like it's work. You're going to be growing your network. So it's huge. You're making new friends, which is huge. But you could put out 50 host to posts up on the walls and no one comments. You're like, well, this sucks. But you could put up one and get like 30 LCs off of one. And so it's just all hit or miss. But it's always going to be a win, because you're always going to be growing your network and, throwing out that. It's basically like, it's kind of like fishing. I'm like the queen of analogies. It's kind of like fishing. You throw it out there, you see what's out there. Sometimes the fish bite, sometimes they don't. Doesn't mean you're going to stop fishing.
I love your analogies. They're all good. I'm taking these.
Totally. Sometimes I try the analogies and I'm like, wait a second. If you can teach a man to fish, does he cross that bridge? Like, I'm all over the place.
I love your analogy. I like the lemon tree one. So, okay, this is, you like just all these like things that are going through my mind. I don't even have paper in front of me to write it down, but, okay, so you mentioned something that, okay, so you mentioned about like that it takes time and you have to grow your business and like a lemon tree and how you have to wait for the lemons. So I think this is one thing I think a lot of people kind of forget, that you want to throw the towel in when you're not getting results. I want you guys all to understand, like, it is not going to happen in a month if you're only doing every 3 days of working or every week messaging once a week. Like, it's going to take you that much longer. Right. So I think although you need to be consistent in it, like, you're not going to have lemons on a tree if you're not doing all the things. And so if you're like, oh, I'm working my business every day, but what are you doing every day? Like, right. Are you scrolling? Are you getting distracted? Like, I am totally somebody, everybody knows this already on here, but I'm somebody who's not organized. So if I don't say, okay, I'm going to get on Yardley's Zoom and I'm going to, make sure I'm adding and unfollowing and interacting, like, I have to have that to make sure I'm consistent to get my lemon tree and get my lemons. Because if I don't do those things, I won't do them at all. Right. So when you say like being consistent, do you think that, like, just you personally, do you think that plays a huge role in people's business and having success?
Well, yeah, for sure. So just think of, here comes another analogy. Just think of, Subway, right? You're like, oh, that new Subway just opened up on the corner. And you're like, oh, I want to go to that Subway. Like, that sounds delicious and whatever, right? So so basically you are Subway, right? Just think of you're a new Subway owner, all right? So someone is thinking about coming into your Subway, right? They saw your open sign, basically like you posting on social media. That's kind of like your open sign. But they haven't told you when they're going to come in to Subway to eat lunch. They said they're going to come in on Friday. Oh, they didn't come in on Friday. That's kind of like the person that's like, oh, I get paid on Friday. I'm going to call you or whatever. And you set the reminder and then they don't or whatever. What if I come in to eat at your Subway on Tuesday, but you're not working that day? You closed for that day. You're like, I'm tired. I have a headache. I don't feel like it. Like, no, you have to be consistent. Subway is open every single day. They have their hours set up. Like, you don't know when your customers are going to come in. You don't know what they're interested in. So you always have to be posting. You always have to be using your own products, getting your own personal testimony, eating your own sandwiches, because people are going to come around. Something that's been so huge for me lately, I learned this from a new presidential on my team, is she makes her keto coffee in stories and Instagram stories and shares over to Facebook stories every single day. She puts on the hands off feature on Instagram and just in her stories, and she just talks to her audience. She makes her coffee. She does a little frother. She puts in the chocolate greens. She shows them how easy it is. You're making coffee in literally 30 seconds. People are ordering coffee from me left and right. And it's not because I'm taking a cute selfie and I'm like, keto coffee. I'm showing them how to use it. I'm showing them how to mix it. I'm welcoming them into my life, and I'm telling them like, oh, this is literally, I'm not just doing this for a cute selfie. Like, I actually am using it. And then I show them my own results picture. Like, I'm eating my own sandwiches from my own restaurant, once you get your own personal results, your business is like completely going to change. And it's not necessarily weight loss. We think like, oh, weight loss. And, we have a lot of like tiny, tiny girls in our company that are like, I don't need to lose weight. That's fine. Like, drink the collagen, like have your face brighten up, do the skincare, do the Confianza. Everyone can have a testimony from Confianza. Like, whatever's coming out tomorrow, you better be on that website ordering, because it will freaking sell out. All of our new products that are coming out are very limited quantities, so you have to get on it. So I don't know if I answered your question.
You did.
Went down like a rabbit hole.
No, you totally did. And I think what is so cool about what you had just said too is like, if you're consistent, and I think a lot of people think this, like, oh, I don't want to do another video of me making my coffee because everybody sees it. But again, like you just said with the Subway thing, what if that person is just watching you for like 5 years?
Yeah.
And then finally one day they're like, frick, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of not having energy. She's been posting about this stuff every single day. Like, she's obsessed with it. I want what she has. Exactly. So I think like although you may not be getting what you think is like results, you posting is not asking. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
But you posting is your Subway is open with an open sign and those are your hours. And if you're not doing the things, then people aren't going to know. And we say this all the time on our team. Like you guys have probably heard me say this a million times, but people buy from people, not because of the product. And so I think if you show people you and your true personality and show them like, this is the real deal. This is what I use. And you share with your energy levels and your eating, like how you don't want to eat as much or your skin or whatever. People see you doing that over and over and over again, and just keep doing it repeatedly on your Insta stories, on your Facebook, because people do end up doing that. Okay, so I want you guys to drop some questions below in the chat real quick while I ask her last question from me. And then we won't stay on more than another 5 minutes. So make sure you guys put your questions below. So I want to know this from you because I'm somebody who's just working on my Instagram now. I am like deathly afraid of Instagram. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like my age and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing on it. I don't know. It just freaks me out. But I keep telling, and I literally talked to myself out loud last week. I'm like, Christina, what are you afraid of? It's just a stupid app. Why do you even care? Just do the thing and get the stuff done and grow your network. So I asked a friend of mine who's a really, really great friend of mine that lives down the road, and she started out like 1,000 followers and now is at 55.5 thousand followers. And I'm like, girl, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And she's in no business at all. It's just sharing her life. So do you use Instagram or do you use Facebook or do you do both?
I do both. I actually like Instagram better. I'm not like an Instagram guru, so don't be like, oh, she knows all the tricks. I don't. I'm still just a normal person, like, just kind of learning along the way, just pushing buttons and again, not sure if it's working, but I don't necessarily want to be an Instagram guru. I want to attract, of course I want to attract Instagram gurus, but which kind of defeats my purpose, but I want to attract just moms. I just want to attract normal people, that are kind of like me. So, because I've been in the business for so long, I kind of moved to Instagram because I kind of thought my Facebook was, which this is probably a lie. I kind of thought my Facebook was like tapped out a little bit, like, oh, I got all my customers that I have, off of my warm market. And I kind of get nervous adding people on Facebook. Don't hate me. Sorry. I know that's like the wrong thing to say. So I feel more comfortable on Instagram because they're all strangers. And that's just what you do on Instagram. You just follow random people and that's the platform and that's what we do. So I work both. I'm active on both. I post every single hour on the hour or on-ish on the hour. And I learned this from Melissa and Hong. About in my Insta stories, like I set my alarms and I post something. Not all it works, not all, products, just literally what is going on in my life, like right that second. And Instagram stories is literally like you can put up anything, like anything goes, So yeah, I use a little bit of both. I do all the polls and all things. And yeah, that's basically where I'm meeting like a lot of my people. Because I'm doing the coffee every single morning on Insta story, people message me about the coffee. Like I don't really have to hunt for those. They literally are coming to me. And I'm a private account, which private and public they both have their equal pros and cons. I just personally like to be able to control who is following me, who's watching me, because, I'm not in the market to be, married by some Arabian prince. So he doesn't need to follow me, Sorry, prince.
I love that. So one last question with you on Instagram. So you have had private, or you're on private. Do you feel like you're getting more real relationships on there through being private?
Yeah. So yeah, I think, well, they're normal people. And then when they ask to follow me, I'll look on their stuff and I don't need a Beachbody coach following me.
Yeah.
I don't need, like I want to kind of be, I don't know if I'm a control freak or what, but I want to kind of be in control. So I just go to different, blog, like, beauty people that I like, or I'll follow hashtags like teacher hashtags. Like Instagram, you're basically just trying to find you on Instagram. So whatever you're into, if you're a dog mom, if you know, and I also like to do, I go to local sections. And so I'll find like local, like hip hot bars, restaurants, you know, events. You know, there's a New Kids on the Block concert tonight. So I'm going to, you know, search that location and follow all those people that have tagged themselves there, because when there is an event in Phoenix, I want to kind of build like a following of Phoenix people, you know. So then when they want to, you know, talk about the business, or they, you know, or when they do join my team, because I'm just putting it out there, when they join, we can meet for coffee. I can help them with a launch party, or, you know, whatever.
I like that. That's so great. That's so good.
In the chat, because you were saying that you were like talking to yourself in the mirror, like kind of like talking yourself down. So I'm listening to this book, David Goggins. He's like a Navy SEAL, and his book is Can't Hurt Me. So I just do the Audible, and it's all about mindset, and literally like we are so our words to ourselves, you know, we always know our thoughts are powerful, right? Like we clearly know that. So this guy is taking it to the next level. Every single morning, he talks to himself in the mirror, and he gives himself like his own little pep talk. He tells himself exactly what's going to happen for the day. He refers to himself in third person. He's like, all right, David, like you're going to kick ass tonight. You are going to, you know, do X, Y, and Z. You're going to finish this workout, or, you know, you're going to lift heavier or whatever. And he tells himself what he's going to do. It's kind of like basically manifesting. And, you know, I do those, you know, type of affirmations, and I say them into my phone, like on the voice recorder. But I think saying it in the mirror, like seeing yourself, it's like super, super powerful. So I just barely started that. So
I like that. I put it down in my section to read, because I actually am not like in a technically book right now. I'm doing a Bible study. Oh my gosh, what is it called? It's not supposed to be this way. So I'm almost done with it. And
my God. That's about is it about divorce or something?
The Lisa. Oh my gosh. So good. Mind-blowing book. It's phenomenal. It actually is a good book too for your mindset, because it could be so much worse. And you like realize, but I like when you like tell yourself, and I've been somebody who's really been like speaking life into like what I want. Like, okay, I wake up like, all right, Christina, you're going to be a badass recruiter today. You're going to say amazing rock star. And I say it, a lot of my kids are like, what? And I'm like, it's fine. Let's just keep going. Like, it's not a big deal. Okay, awesome. I appreciate everything you said. Like all of the things you said was like, oh my gosh, that's so good. That's why I love doing these, because there's so many different people in this business, like yourself, Yardley. There's so many other people. We've had a lot of them on our Zooms. But you just learn something new each time, even after 8 years of being in. I'm like, oh, that's good. You know, so I just think it's important for everybody that's on here right now. You guys deserve to be in this and deserve to have this special treatment of getting these tips from Amber. And it's a privilege to be on this and to do this. And I'm just proud of everybody that's here and on this, because these are tips that you can now take and put into your business, into practice, and show your team. And everybody follows people who know where they're going. And so if you know where you're going and you know what you want and you have a goal, your team is going to follow that. If you have the work ethic and you're showing, like you kind of said, you do the poll so people follow, like, oh, well, you know, she's doing it. I never want to be somebody that I'm like, well, I can't keep up with everybody. I want to do what they're doing. And I'm funny, Megan just logged on, but I always tell them, like, you inspire me. She's one of my distributors that I met camping, and we just chatted and connected. But when I see like her recruiting, I'm like, I need to recruit. Like, I need to do more. So I think you guys can just use everything that Amber said tonight and just put that to practice in your own business, and let your teams know, like, maybe if you're not where you want to be or where you think you should be open with your team and say, I'm not doing as much as I know I can be doing, but these are the things I learned tonight. This is what I'm going to start doing. So I just think it's so awesome. Any last words that you want to end with, Amber?
Yeah. So we are nearing month end. And so if you have a pen and paper in front of you, I want you to write down, like, what is your month end goal? How many loyal customers are coming in for you? How much more volume is coming in for you? How many more distributors? I just want you to jot that down, or make a kind of a mental note for yourself, you know, and just seeing that number and knowing that you can achieve it. So kind of write that down real fast. So that number that you just wrote down, that is a number inside of your comfort zone. That is a number that you're like, damn, yep, I have a ton of potentials. Yep, I have 5 potentials that say they're going to order on Friday. So I just wrote down 5. You know, that is a number inside your comfort zone. And so what I want you to do is I want you to add 2 more, 3 more. I want you to double it. I want you to raise that bar for yourself. Now, 2 things are probably happening right now. Your belly is probably like twisting and turning. Your mind is probably like, oh, nope, I can't do that. Nope, I can't do that. Like, I can do this goal, but I can't do this goal. Okay, fear is for sure a liar. And because you're thinking that, because you're feeling that, that means that you are in the right zone for success and for, you know, to propel yourself to the next level. And so it is so amazing that when we set that bar just a little bit higher, 2 more loyal customers than what you wrote down, you know, 3 more 100 BV than what you wrote down or whatever you did. When you set that bar a little bit higher and your mind sees it, and your heart sees it, and then you tell yourself in the mirror that you're a badass, that you can get this done, that you're gonna knock this goal out of the park, you're gonna make it happen. And so when we set that bar higher and then we work toward it and we pray on it and we work, it's amazing how we can achieve what we set out to do. And so we are month end. Raise that bar, baby, and make it happen. So kudos to you guys. I can't wait to hear how you got on this Zoom. I can't wait. I know you guys are kicking ass out there, so kudos to you. Go finish month end. New product tomorrow. So excited. Thank you so much, Christina, for inviting me. It's been such an honor.
Yes, absolutely. And I love setting the bar higher because, like, we are somebody on our team that we all, like, everybody that's in here is like, I want to do more. And we're so capable of doing more, but we do get in our heads. I do it. I did it this month. I'm like, I've had a shitty month. It's going to suck. Like, I just haven't done what I wanted. And I'm like, no, you're just telling yourself that it's a shitty month, so you can't do what you want to do. So I think that's so powerful. All right, you guys, thank you so much again, Amber. I appreciate it. I will message you. And you guys have a great rest of the month and a great rest of the night. All right, bye, everybody.